The Rich Lieberman Media Pulse, and I get a lot of rumors that hit my way. It's a lot of talk, speculation, gossip, the whole nine yards. And when you work in this environment, you're going to hear a lot of things that have legs, that don't have legs, that are leaked by various people who have maybe some intentions to get it leaked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, what I'm about to tell you, take with a grain of salt, but in this particular case, there are some ingredients to gaze and to reflect and to analyze and say, you know what? This has some teeth. I'm just going to give it to you in that environment, but I'm also going to tell you that this in particular makes a whole lot of sense. What am I talking about? Well, Joe Shaskey is a morning personality, part of the team on the 95.7 The Game, The Roast, from 6 to 10 o'clock in the morning on the FM sports station 95.7 The Game. Now, there have been rumors, talk, schmoozing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've been amongst a lot of them, the rumors, the schmoozes, etc. Let me break it down in simplest terms, and I'm going to tell you what I think. KNBR had a terrible, terrible month in the ratings. It's July. It's not a very retail friendly month, even in the industry known as broadcasting radio. Nevertheless, for KNBR, you've got baseball going full steam ahead. Giants have been hemorrhaging. We all know that. Nevertheless, it's sports. Nevertheless, you should be thriving a little bit. But we all know at KNBR, they don't have talent. And the very little talent that they have is marginalized and has been sort of just getting by, surviving. They, as I just said, they didn't have a good month. 95.7 The Game didn't have a very good month. And now they do have talent at 95.7 The Game. Granted, a lot of the people are KNBR retreads, or those who've worked in other stations, not just in the Bay Area, but beyond, that had some element of success. They brought in and they threw them on the air. That's not a knock. That's just being reflective of what is reality. So I have heard, and I've heard this all talked about, and this is generally regarded as not so much a rumor, but and when it's going to take place, not if, but when. KNBR had a bad month. They are terrible in the morning. They are even worse in the afternoon, show-wise. With the announcement a couple of weeks back about Greg Papa, which, again, we wish him all the best, hope for his survival, hope for a speedy recovery. But that has a domino effect. He's on from 10 to 2, and the ratings on that show have taken a little bit of a hit. The afternoon show, the so-called dirty work name of the show, the ratings are horrible. People don't want to hear basically amateur hour artists. A guy, believe it or not, one of the performers on dirty work is a engineer that they put on, I guess, to supplant the fact that they know they're in over their head. Anyway, here's the rumor, and it does have a lot of teeth. Joe Shaskey, now he does have a contract at 95.7 The Game. But like most contracts these days, wait a minute, all contracts, it's not etched in stone. It's not a personal services contract. And what I've heard, echoed by many, there's going to be changes at KNBR. Now, I don't know specifically what. I just know it's going to happen. I've been saying this now. They had their big purge back in November of last year. They got rid of Tolbert. They got rid of John Lunn. Not again, John Lunn, no loss, to be blunt. And mostly changes based on economic situation. These companies that own KNBR and 95.7 The Game, Odyssey and Cumulus, they don't have a lot of money. Their financial reservoir is very, very low, dim at best. So there continues to be talk, like I've suggested before, that KNBR could go yet another dip into a syndicated mode of programming during the week, could very well be from 2 to 6 or even 2 to 4. Now, for the time being, I don't think that's going to happen just yet. They're going to wait and see. But Joe Shaskey, part of the morning roast, could be solo from 2 to 6 or have a sidekick. But it would, A, cost less than the 3 combined salaries that they're paying now. They probably bring in a whole new form of revenue. It would pay basically for the cost of the show, and it would be a significantly more meatier, dare I say, healthier, dare I say, more entertaining show. Shaskey is good. He's above average. He's funny. He's got a good, keen sense of sports. I'm an advocate. I think he can be incredibly funny and entertaining at times. Sometimes, you got to kind of shake your head, but he's got an East Coast kind of a vibe, which I like. Got a big San Francisco following, grew up in the city, used to have a big time delicatessen down on Ocean Avenue. He used to call KNBR as a caller. Butcher Boy, remember that guy? Phenomenal, phenomenal take on sports, local sports, 49ers, Giants, Warriors. And the way the game is going right now, they're not in a very terrific situation, much like KNBR. Now, they probably have a much better financial footing and deeper pockets, Odyssey versus Cumulus. That's not saying much, but it's a fact. So here's the rumor. Shaskey goes to KNBR, does probably afternoons, afternoon drive, most importantly. Does it make sense? Of course it makes sense. Is it logical? Well, hell yeah. The alternative is what you have now. And the so-called dirty work program with Adam Copeland and Derek Papa, who's the son of Greg Papa, that has no legs. That has no future. It's also not very funny. It's gimmicky. It's basically insincere radio. Copeland is simply not a draw. He's controversial for all the wrong reasons. His social media postings have been met with a great degree of angst and anger from the bosses at Cumulus. They don't like it. And believe me, if he had any iota of a following or great ratings or even mediocre ratings, okay, that's one thing. But when you have no ratings, that's another thing. Shaskey could be had. And I mean had in the right sense. He can go to KNBR. He can deliver ratings more than likely. Most importantly, in their mind, he don't cost as much as the current program, which has nothing. No advertisers, very little, if any. And Shaskey is funny and entertaining, and he does have numbers. Again, folks, this is a rumor. It's an industry gossip kind of a talk, which means don't take it as reality, but there is talk out there of something happening. Some things could be imminent. KNBR is in a vital nosedive. Now, yes, I've said that many a times. They only exist because they have a Giants contract and because they have a 49ers contract. So, yes, this station is on a death watch, only kept alive by the fact that its commitments to the aforementioned teams keeps it going. But it's very, very little. It's very, very little. And anything could happen. Anything could happen, and nothing would surprise me. Nothing would shock me. That's the name of the game. So, Shaskey to KNBR could be a number of things that could be in the mix. That's one of them, and I thought you deserved to know. See you later.